Rick Horrow at a golf course / Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Brickyard Crossing. We're here for the Indy Women in Tech Championship, third year. The king of the LPGA, he goes by commissioner, but he's really the king to me. Mike Whan, how are you?
I think I'm going to change my business card. I like king of the LPGA.
Not
sure my players will like that.
No, I don't think so. Maybe queen, maybe king, queen, a brand poobah of the LPGA. So this is the third year of this event here in Indianapolis. It gets bigger every single year. Describe what you think the impact of an event like this is on Indianapolis and the region.
Well, this is a great example of an event that's so much bigger than golf.
Right.
You know, with the whole women in tech, and you see it with young kids experiencing tech right there. You know, yesterday we had women from all walks of the business world talking about leadership, empowerment, diversity. So this event's a golf tournament. It's a golf tournament inside a racing venue, but at the same time, it's about making a difference long term, about changing visions and dreams of young girls, about joining STEM and tech opportunities. And so it's great when you meet somebody who's got an idea that's so much bigger than what we put on. And I think the mark this is going to leave in Indianapolis and the young kids of Indianapolis is going to last a lot longer than a golf tournament.
Come a long way since Dan Towers. We all brainstormed the idea about doing something in Indianapolis that stands out for women and technology and kids, and of course perfect for you because you're very charitable in and of itself. And this is the first real big attempt to target a specific event like this from the inception for women, tech, STEM, robotics, and the like.
Yeah, I mean, the first time I met Dan and I met the former Mayor Ballard, and they were talking about women in tech, I thought this is a really interesting conversation, but what does it have to do with me?
Right.
And then we kind of transitioned into, can you help us, Mike? Can you bring the LPGA and shine a light on this important topic? And we put this on television not only in America, but all around the world. And so they had a big idea. They were going to change women in tech long term, and they were going to start right here in Indianapolis, right here in the hotbed of it all. They asked us to kind of exacerbate what was going on and share it with the rest of the world. So we're going to have a heck of a golf tournament here. We're going to have 144 of the best female golfers on the planet, but we're going to play for something so much bigger than just a trophy or just a paycheck. We're going to play for the future of women in the tech industry. And
frankly, that's the perspective that a lot of people don't have. The statistic the NGF and everybody embraces is the $4 billion a year spent, raised for charity by golf events generally, but this is very specifically targeted, and there's a significant amount of good as a legacy, a leave behind, regardless of whether another round of golf is played in Indianapolis.
Yeah, I think we've put down a marker here that's going to change. Going to change the lives of young kids. We can see it in the tent across from us. We've got young girls and they're experiencing science and math and this whole side of the industry, and it's going to change their plans for the future, and that's going to have nothing to do with a golf tournament. We just used the golf tournament as a chance to shine a light on that, and we're excited at the LPGA we can do that. When we can play an event that's bigger than the event, it feels like everything our founders were about 70 years ago.
But it also starts at the top because you have the ability to shape or influence players' attitudes toward the Pro-Am or what they do in a community when they come in. And never in all the experience I've had of, as we know, my many bad shots in the Pro-Am events, never met an LPGA Tour player that wasn't nice, entrepreneurial, interested in the charities, and that starts at the top though.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to take credit for that and say that was my idea, but when I became the commissioner 10 years ago, I was floored by how much the players were interested in the business of the game. Yeah. They wanted to know about the title sponsor, they wanted to know about the TV partnerships, and so I started providing them more and more information. As I did, they asked for more. So now, every time you show up at a tournament week on Tuesday, I give you a 5x7 card and it gives you all the information you need to know about who's writing a check this week, why are they writing a check, what is Indianapolis hoping to gather, what did Dan Towers want this event to mean 20 years from now? And so I educate the players and the caddies about that. If it's interesting to them, it'll become interesting to us as a tour. And to your point, whether you're playing in a Pro-Am, watching a player play down the 10th fairway, or listening to an interview at night, it's highly likely that some of what Dan has envisioned for this event will come out of their mouth as well.
And they actually respect or don't grumble about your game either. They respect the commissioner's office and they respect you.
Well,
bunch of kids too respecting you.
Yeah, that's their respect for me right now. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think we respect each other. I know how hard it is to become one of the best female athletes in the world. I know the commitment they've made from all over the world. I have players from 50 different countries. We'll be televised in 175 countries this week. It's not easy to be 25 years old and the best at your profession and really run your own business. They hire and fire their own caddies and physios and doctors and swing coaches. So they have to grow up pretty fast. So I think I can comfortably say the respect is mutual.
And your golfers are Pied Pipers in essence, but there's also a core message. In that context, tell us about the new Drive On campaign.
Yeah, you know, I realized pretty early on that female athletes have a different perspective than most male athletes. Hard to call myself an athlete, but I grew up playing sports. I never, in any time that I was playing sports, thought about the next generation that would play behind me. I knew there'd always be men's football, there'd always be men's baseball. But women athletes think about the opportunities they've been given because of the women that came before them, and they live with this responsibility of leaving it better for the next generation. So Drive On is the first time we have allowed their voice, the player's voice, to kind of come out to the consumer. Drive On is sharing their stories, their incredible journeys of making it here, and how important it is for them to leave a legacy for the next girl. As our founders always said, we knew we weren't going to get rich when we started the LPGA, but we thought if we worked at it and we stayed persistent, we might just leave it better for our daughters and our daughters' daughters. We want to make sure that mentality, that philosophy, that responsibility never goes away. So these are the best female golfers on the planet. They're playing for the most money of any female golfer in the world, but they also know that the most important job they have is to make sure young girls can have the dream they had, and more importantly, if they achieve that dream, it's better than they had it.
So let's segue a little bit to the elevator speech about the current business state of the LPGA. Good hands?
Well, I mean, I don't care which factor you use to assess success. I mean, some people talk about revenue, some people talk about tournaments or television exposure or TV viewership or money. I don't care which one of those you use, you'd be talking about double-digit increase. And in many cases, triple-digit increase. We're up 100 to 150% in almost every business acumen you could look at over the last 5 or 6 years. It's exciting. They're playing for more money. They're playing in more tournaments. We're televised in more country, and our viewership in those countries is as high as it's ever been, kind of across the board. It's a good time to get behind women's golf because the momentum wave has never been higher.
And the National Golf Foundation study talks about 5.7, about 6 million golfers, stable golfers in the kind of golf force last year. It's about a 23% increase year over year. That has to be encouraging to you and important to maintain.
If you go back 15 or 20 years ago, Rick, and you looked at junior golf, it would look just like adult golf. What I mean by that is it was 85% men and 15% women. So somebody would say to me, tell me about the future of the game. I would laugh and go, future of the game's already playing. They're just not 18 yet. Now, if you looked at the future of the game, it's 36% girls. So we've gone from 15% girls in junior golf to 36. So I always tell people the future of this game is going to be more female than you could ever imagine. In 100 years, we've never been able to say this. The fastest growing segment of golf in America is girls under the age of 18. Never been able to say that. We've been saying that for the last 3 years.
And the interesting part about it, it's all synergistic. We have 1,500, I don't know what the number is, screaming kids there as part of this Eureka Exchange, which is a collateral event as part of this event. But the more you expose young girls, young kids, to the industry of golf and everything around it, the better for everybody.
What they're doing in there this morning is the same thing we're trying to do with our LPGA, USGA girls golf. We want to make the golf course a fun place to be. Have fun, be crazy, scream a little bit, do all the things you didn't think was golf related. That's what they're doing with STEM this morning. They want to make science and math fun and exciting. That's what we do on a golf course. So when I hear that and see that, I know they're in good hands. When I see that on a first tee or on a golf experience or an LPGA girls golf experience and the girls are just having fun and screaming and high-fiving, they're going to be playing golf for a long time.
And that's not a prop, ladies and gentlemen. They're really having a good time in there, believe it or not. So the other piece of golf growth, which purists have trouble with, I believe you probably don't, is the NGF talks about 25 million golfers on the course, generally, women and men, but about 24.5 million playing Top Golf, Drive Shack, putting a golf club in their hands. And for the first time, I remember, the studies have actually taken that 50 million and put it in one pot. What do you think of all that?
Yeah, we encouraged them to stop talking about these as different things. If you asked me when's the last time I played basketball, I'd probably think about the last time I played horse in the driveway with my son. I consider that playing basketball. But for some reason, golf is always considered, if it wasn't on a golf course, on 18 holes of green grass, it wasn't golf. Well, when my wife and I go to Top Golf and somebody says, when's the last time you golfed? She said, Thursday. We went to Top Golf. And Top Golf is introducing about 8 million people a year to the game. Over half of those people have never walked on a golf course before. So for the game of golf, what an incredible opportunity that is for people. And I would tell you that when somebody goes to Top Golf a few times, their respect for what they see when they watch it on TV goes, they know how hard it is to hit a 4-iron, no matter how far you hit it. And when they watch one of my players hit a 4-iron 200 yards into a small green, the respect for what that is goes up. So yeah, to me, I don't care how you're swinging a golf club as long as you're swinging a golf club, because then you have a chance to be a viewer, you have a chance to be a fan, you have a chance to do vacations around it, and you might just join us at a golf course long term, but any of those outcomes is positive for the game.
And the analog of making the game more pleasant and easier and quicker for people that do play. The bigger holes, 3-hole golf course design, 6 holes that finish at each place. Those are all kind of ideas to make golf easier. What do you think about all that generally?
Yeah, I think the bottom line is we have to stop worrying about what we consider golf and let the fans and the consumers consider. I bought my house on the 6th tee box of a golf hole for a reason. I play 5 holes of golf when I come home from work at night, and I've played golf. I'm done at 5 holes. That's enough. That's as much time as I can give it, but it keeps me on the golf course. So yeah, I think anything we can do to make people's experience on a golf course fun, and whatever fun is for them. If you're a serious golfer and fun for you is grinding it out 18 holes, great. If you want to play 3 holes and call it a day, we got to not only accept that, we got to embrace that.
And when Mike Whan tells you, as he's told me, that he shoots like a 78 after a round, it's because he's only played those 5 holes, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, don't give out my secrets.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Okay.